So, this unit is really talking about collaboration and how essential our work environment requires, how essential it is to collaborate within our work environment. Even folks who are running a sole proprietor business are collaborating with other expertise. While they may be the bottom line decision maker, the decisions are often informed by working with others who have expertise. And so, how do we form a collaborative team within our own organization, our own office? And how can we solicit the strengths of each individual? And hopefully, we have a diverse set of folks who are working, yet sometimes that can create conflict. So, what we want to look at is how we're going to work together. I love this image because certainly these days, as we look at environmental issues and other global economic issues, it's becoming more and more clear that we are an interconnected society. Collaboration really is to create. And I have found in my life, while I love doing it my way, even as simple process of cooking, when I get other opinions, tasters, it modifies and usually improves the end result. What I also love as a collaborator is a traitorous cooperation with an enemy. When I looked this up just for fun, I thought that was fascinating. So, a collaborator can be both a positive role and also a treacherous role. So, looking at collaboration versus teamwork, I think that collaboration brings in a diversity while teamwork works together and focuses on a single task, contributing effort, physical, mental, emotional, creative ideas. But the combined action requires leadership that directs a unified effort towards a singular purpose. Collaboration, I think, is more expanding in a creative process so that particularly useful with solving complex problems could be delivery chain issues, it could be financial budget allocations, and being able to get multiple perspectives for complex issues is essential for businesses to thrive and survive. So we resist it partially because if we feel it's too much trouble, it takes more time. We're in a society these days, particularly Western culture, where we're rushing forward. Everything is on a timeline. We're never on time because we're always late. Technology certainly has influenced this kind of approach. And it's really essential to take a look at long term visions and plan for this collaborative process and let it be iterative. And you always have personality conflicts. You have people with different communication styles, so that's a really important aspect of fostering collaboration. Those of you familiar with Myers-Briggs, the introverts need time to think and process. Written word is helpful. Those are extroverts need to speak out loud to even find out what they're thinking. And often our society, again, rewards the individual hero rather than really looking at it took a whole team of people to solve and resolve. And frankly, this really gets at the hierarchy of our establishments. So the lower ranked folks who may be the ones who really provided insight and important contribution rarely get recognized. So the collaboration really, as I said, is about complex problem solving. And all of us face complexities beyond the day to day functions. With budget cuts, we have to become resilient. We have to come up with solutions to how we're going to do business. And it's important to have multiple perspectives to be able to see all the facets of the issue. There are infinite possibilities. And so, multiple input, multiple perspectives. This is where true diversity really makes a difference. But how do you facilitate very diverse ways of thinking, diverse values? We have folks from generations, but also religious perspectives. We have so many ways that people see cultural perspectives that may be seen as obstacles, but they're actually, frankly, quite important in terms of being able to see a larger picture around any kind of issue. There's many examples of collaborations. I love looking at arts and music and dance because that, in fact, is almost impossible without collaborating. I'm also a musician. I work in a band, so when the four of us are playing, we are collaborating uh, to create that sound. It's not just my sound. Um, Certainly, the internet is this amazing technological tool that has fostered collaboration across geographic spaces. Team sports is another great example. You know, you take any team, there is not one, there are certainly heroes that stand out and perhaps inspire, but those individuals could not be successful without the whole group. So we look at the tools, and that's my question for you. What tools do you use? Well, this is simply a list of the tools, and would be curious to hear in the discussion what tools you use to foster collaboration. The cloud, of course, servers, huge servers placed in remote areas are really um, a repository of the tools for us to collaborate across global and geographic distances. What are the skills that are needed to collaborate? Um, these are things you can foster in yourself first to be the leader, and then take a look at how you can address these with your individual employees to help them be better facilitators of their own process and collaborators. So, listening, imagination, experimenting. How do you foster folks to experiment without feeling fear of failure? Being flexible is really challenging, particularly older folks. I put myself in that category. I tend to get comfortable with how things are. And when I'm asked to change, adopt yet another password, another technology, I tend to resist it as I get older. And that's a real challenge. So these are things that each of us need to work on. And then you, as leadership and management, to foster that in your own folks. It's a leadership issue, something that you need to take a hold of and see how you can find small ways to experiment with collaboration, build strong relationships of trust, and you know, really set the example yourself by being open-minded and listening to ideas, and earnestly implementing things that you think are good ideas rather than resisting or asking for feedback and then disregarding it, which is a classic manager stereotype, actually. Um, Also, you can't demand what people think. It's an invitation. Oftentimes, people feel pressured because of the hierarchy. There's fear about really sharing what they think. So, how can you create an environment where people can take the risk to offer up ideas without fear of criticism? You're all in different organizational cultures. There are people who, knowledge hoarders, I love that term, because they may feel insecure that if they share their information, then they will not be needed. All of these, I think you could read these words and find great examples already within your own organization. So the real question is, can you break through both the organizational culture, your own habits, and the fears and expectations of your employees to really foster positive collaboration? Can everybody see the big picture? Can you help facilitate that? And then get everyone on the proverbial same page. Facilitation, planning, communicating, celebrating. These are essentials of laying that foundation of a collaborative environment. Once these things have been fostered and you feel comfortable, you're creating a synergy, and that synergy actually takes a life of its own. And it becomes a powerful, inspirational force that fosters even more collaboration, and it can become an exponential and very inspiring um, work environment that becomes a magnet. I developed that in my office, and folks around campus would come over and, in joking way, say, "Do you have any job openings here?" Because we had a lot of fun being creative and trying to level the power structure. There's certainly the life cycle. So, this is something that you could take some time looking at each of these stages and see where you may have dropped it or haven't really understood it. And that's another thing we can use in the discussion forum, what the cycles are for successful collaboration. And as you can see, it's a wheel and ongoing. Technology innovation. We just had an amazing collaboration where we had to turn things around rather quickly in terms of upgrading all our tech and IT facilities. And the pressure, because of the pressure, the financial pressure, people were able to solve problems and commit to the collaborative process for that problem solving because there was a larger purpose and people otherwise would have everyone was a very important stakeholder and they did have a voice. Many different kinds of examples. McDonald's. These are partners of folks that collaborated together to create these very recognizable business brands. Uh, Music, Doctors Without Border, Haiti disaster often causes collaboration under pressure. So, what I'd love for you to do is come into the discussion forum and share your examples, good, bad, and ugly, and how you navigated or what support you need to figure out how to navigate some of the challenges. And looking forward to hearing from you.